Have you ever wondered why it feels like you're constantly chasing money, yet it slips away no matter how hard you try? Money's everywhere, from the hands of billionaires to those barely scraping by. But here's the thing. It's not just a piece of paper. It's a powerful addiction, and it controls our lives in ways we rarely stop to question. Let me ask you, when was the last time you really stopped and asked, what is money? Not just that paper in your pocket, but what actually gives it value. To understand the influence of money, we need to take a quick trip back in time. Thousands of years ago, people bartered, exchanging goods like rice for sugar. It was simple, but impractical. To solve this, people created commodity money, trading items like cattle or grain that everyone needed. But there was a major flaw. These commodities could spoil or lose value. People craved something universal, durable, and easier to handle. And that's where gold and silver coins came in. But even that wasn't enough. Carrying heavy gold everywhere? Not ideal. So goldsmiths stepped in. They offered to hold onto your gold and in return, issued a receipt saying, "I owe you this much gold." People loved this idea. Why lug around gold when a piece of paper, a receipt, would do the job just as well? Imagine walking into Starbucks and paying for your latte with a literal bag of gold. Not exactly practical, right? But here's where it gets interesting. People began trading these receipts as if they were gold. And the goldsmiths, seeing a loophole, started creating more receipts than the gold they actually held. Those receipts eventually became the first paper currency, and thus, the world's biggest legal scam was born. And that was just the beginning. This little receipt system evolved into the global banking empire we know today. But there's a twist. So, you might think banks just lend out the money we deposit, keeping a portion aside in reserve. Seems simple, right? But the reality is a whole lot more complex. Banks don't just loan out your deposits, they multiply them. For every dollar you deposit, banks can legally create up to $10 in virtual money. How? By just typing numbers on a screen. So the next time you check your balance, just remember, it's like playing Monopoly. Those numbers in your account, mostly virtual. This practice is known as fractional reserve banking, and it means that your money in the bank isn't really there in full. In fact, if a fraction of people rushed to withdraw their money, banks couldn't pay everyone. Your money isn't as safe as you might think. And the scary part? The system is still the foundation of modern banking. Let's clear up one of the biggest myths. Money and currency are not the same thing. Currency is what we use as a medium of exchange, those dollars in your wallet. But true money is something that holds value, like gold. Think of currency as a ticket to a show. The ticket itself has no value once the show's over, right? But the experience, that's what holds the real worth. In the same way, currency can lose its value if the system changes. If the government deems those dollar bills worthless tomorrow, they're just paper. But that gold coin stashed in a safe? Its value remains, no matter what. And speaking of gold, let's talk about why physical assets might just be the ultimate backup plan. These days, you might hear people saying, invest in digital gold bonds or virtual assets. And sure, there's some logic to that. But when it really comes down to it, true wealth is tangible. If a crisis hit, could you buy a year's worth of supplies with a digital gold certificate? Not likely. Let's be real. If things get tough, you're not going to want a piece of paper. You'll want something you can hold, something that holds its value beyond any digital system. That's why, even with all the talk about high-tech investments, a small stash of real physical gold could serve as your lifeline. When push comes to shove, trust only goes so far. Real value is grounded in tangible assets. So, here's the truth they rarely tell you. Money's a construct, a system rooted in trust and tradition. It only holds as much value as we collectively believe it does. But understanding the real nature of money and the forces behind it gives you the power to make smarter, more resilient financial decisions. Now that you understand the truth about money, there's one more secret to building real wealth. It's the power of compounding, one of the most reliable ways to grow your money exponentially. So if you're serious about leveling up your financial game, don't miss my next video on how compounding can transform your savings. Click on the video here and let's dive into the world of compounding. Trust me, your future self will thank you.